everyone and welcome to our new video. Today I am very excited because we are starting a new series where we're going to learn new pieces together in real time with all the different details that happen in the practice room and in the lessons. So we'll go through various pieces of different levels and styles, and you can let us know in the comments which pieces you would like to see next. Before we start, I first want to thank you for 2,000 subscribers. It means a lot to us that you support our work and that we can also continue doing this and sharing these videos with you. So let's get into it. So this new series, we are going to start with a beautiful short piece, a miniature really, Lágrima by Francisco Tarrega. As we all know, Francisco Tarrega is known as the father of the classical guitar. He established much of the sound and technique on the guitar as we know it today, so a very important figure for us. Lágrima was written around 1890s, the beginning of 1890s, and now there are several rumors going around as to why it was written. Some say that it was written when Tarrega was touring in the UK, when he was in London having concerts, and that he was feeling homesick, and so he wrote this piece. Others say that it was at a time where his daughter passed away, so we don't know for sure. What we know is that Lágrima means teardrop, and that certainly gives us a first impression of the atmosphere that is going to be present in the piece. Now, you've certainly heard Lágrima before many times. It's a very famous piece and beloved by professional guitarists as well as amateur classical guitarists. Let's take a look at the score together before we start even playing it. So we have first the title, Lágrima, which we said means teardrop. Then underneath it says Preludio, so it was first written as a prelude, and as we know, Tarrega has written large opus of preludes actually for the guitar. Then another indication that we have is that of the tempo. It says andante, so it's a calm, pacing, walking-like kind of tempo. And another thing that we'll mention, that we'll see when we take a look at the score, is that it's a very short piece, right? It has 16 bars, with the first 8 bars being then repeated, and therefore it has an ABA form, so a very common ternary form. And that is also seen in the key. So we start in E major, then the second part is in E minor, which is also very common. It's like a contrasting part to the A. And then we have the repetition of the A part again in E major. Before we start playing it, let's go through the harmony together. So we're going to play just the most basic form of harmony there is for each bar. So in first bar we have the E major chord. The next bar is a B7. And then again the repetition, we have the E major chord. Again B7. Then we have A major. Then A major with a 6, so with F sharp. Again E major, again A major with the 6th, and E major, F sharp major, B major, 7th, and E major. That's basically the first part. So we see a lot of 1, 4, 5 going on, and then there's also the F sharp major. Now let's play through the first part only with the harmony together. So I'm putting the metronome on 60. 1, 2, 3. part only done with the chords. Now in the second part, we said that it's an E minor, so the first chord is going to be an E minor chord. Then we have a B7, again E minor, again E minor. Now we have A minor, and now again with that added sixth, the F sharp, B, E minor. I would just say the whole bar as E minor to keep it as simple as possible. Then A minor, E minor, A minor with the fifth, B7, and E minor. Okay, let's also do that together with the metronome. 1, 2, 3. Look at the score, we'll see that the voices are clearly separated, so that you always know where's the melody, where's the bass, and where's the middle voice. So let's start with playing the melody, just the melody of it. Let's start with the first part, and don't worry about the fingerings now, just focus on hearing the melody. As I said, you most definitely know it already, but if you haven't played it before, it's nice to play it separately from the other voices, just to have a clear idea of also what the phrasing it is that you want to do, and just because it's also very beautiful. So let's do that. I'll put the metronome on 60 so we can all have the same beat while playing the melody. 1, 2, 3. There we go, that would be the melody of the first part. Now we're going to do the same with the minor part. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now that we've done that, let's do a bit of the bass also. So now there are different editions of this piece, of course, as it is with Tarrega's pieces. Right now I'm looking at what could be the first edition of it. So at some other editions it could be that it's done differently with what's the middle voice, what's the upper voice, not what's the upper voice, that stays mostly the same, but like what's part of what's together as the middle voice and what's the bass. But it's not super important. Now we'll just play the lowest notes basically, so that you can also hear the bass line separately. 1, 2, 3. And we'll do the same for the minor part. you've gotten more acquainted with the piece, with the different voices, now we'll start really, and I'll suggest some fingerings for the beginning and for the other parts. So let's get right into it. Let's start with the first bar. So we have the following, and then the second. Basically, the second bar I would play here. For the first bar, there are more options that you can choose from. So for example, I played 1-4, then 2-4, again 2-4, and then going back to the first position. You could do, for example, in this first edition from Tarrega, it's written 1-3, then 2-1 and 3-4. Okay, so he wanted here to be, for it to be more legato and not with the glissando. But in the beginning I would do 1-4. For me it's much more comfortable than 1-3 actually. So this is also possible. 1-4, 1-2, 3-4. It also depends on your taste and what you actually want to do with the phrasing. Then there would be another possibility, which not many people do, and that is starting with a bar in the fourth position. That would be like this. So you're basically playing everything in one position, not sliding anywhere, and it's a very, very legato way to do this beginning actually. So we have a mini bar in the fourth position, and then you would do with the fourth finger E on the fifth string, and then with the second finger the A, and 3 and 4 on G sharp and B. So it's on you what you want to decide. Then the next part is, then it repeats, of course, the 2 bars, and then we have, here you also have several options. So for example, Tarrega wrote, well, in this first edition it's written, and then 3-1. I would keep the fourth finger on the first string, so that you always slide with the same finger. It could be possible to do it also like, well, let me see, this is C sharp. If you wanted to do it, but here I would actually use the fingering that's written with a minor change, and that's the fourth finger. 4, and now also 4. Now this next one, I would definitely play it here, so we can hear the full chord. There's also a possibility to do it like here, but then you don't have all 4 notes ringing together. So I would do it in this position, and now you have the possibility of either to do or this is also nice. But here, if you wanted to like do a little arpeggiation, then you would have to go first the second string and then the third string. So once again, either, then you could also go to here, if you don't want to finish with the open E string, or you can do, or you can combine the two. Here I had now a lot of notes that weren't part of the harmony. So you would have to be careful to stop those notes. I would probably choose to keep it simple and straight to the point. Now, minor part. And here I would definitely already put the first finger on the string so that I'm secure, so that I'm not only sliding with the second finger and then putting the first finger on when I need to do the pull off, but it's already there. And now either there or depends on what sound you want. And then for this next bar, Tarrega writes, for me personally, that's it is the middle voice, right? We have the bass and the upper voice right there. And for me personally, it would be too much to do, or whatever, to put so much emphasis on that. My personal taste is to choose for it to be something passing and seamless. But as I said, it's up to you. You know, tastes are so different, and that's the beauty of what we do. So it could be or like making a mix once again. And then you play it here, and now open string. Let's say, or you go to the second position straight away. Then we have, that's pretty straight to the point. Now what I love about this fingering in this play, the fingering that's written in the edition that I'm using, is this. To have the open string after the B on the fourth string. I love it. And I would actually keep the B on the fourth string there a bit longer, just to have those two same notes but different colors together. I don't know, I like it so much. Of course it's possible to also play it there, but I think I would choose the seventh position because we're already there, and then like the beginning, but only in minor. Now here I would change, and then I would do 4-3-1, so that the second finger is free to press the B on the fifth string. No, it's minor. Okay, here also it's possible to do it there if you would want to. Now, as I said, these fingering choices depend a whole lot on your taste, on how you hear the piece, how you want to interpret it. It's not just a matter of where we play it for the sake of where we play it, you know, for like only the comfort and technique and whatever. It has to do, also fingerings always have to do a lot with our interpretation, okay, and how we see the piece. And they can be helpful if you want to, if you're like, oh, this part I want to play it very legato, then you find the right fingering for that, and not take a fingering that's in itself not very legato, and you practice it like crazy and try to make it legato. That's just like a waste of time. Also in the different direction, if you wanted something to be staccato, then you take a fingering like that. So we have a whole bunch of options, which is sometimes frustrating, but sometimes I think actually, well, not sometimes, I think actually we have to be very happy that we have a whole lot of options for fingerings and for different colors on our instrument. So thank you for staying until the end, and if you've enjoyed this new series, please leave a like, subscribe and comment what piece we should do next. See you in the next one!